Leo 15, a pageant. Demonstration. This is about expressing ourselves in a way which is a bit unusual. A pageant is a way for us to dress up, show off, do things we normally would not do. It could be expanded this degree to include such things as parties, fancy dress parties, Christmas, the Mardi Gras, of course, in New Orleans. These kind of shows where the general population loses their sense of inhibition for the day. It's a limited period of time, and they can behave as they choose. Some behave badly. They're expressing their shadow side. Yeah, they get it all out. Very healthy for the community to release its pent-up frustrations. In Middle Ages in England, there was this All Fools Day, 1st of April parade, where the poor people, and they were very poor, would swap places with the rich people who were very rich just for the day, and the aristocrats would serve the poor people, and that was healthy for both. And also on All Fools Day, there would be the fool. There would be the satirist taking the mickey out of the king, to take the idea of the court jester to the public level, to the social level. It's like any satire, a comedy program on television, where things are said against the government and the president and so on, which really they're very lucky to get away with sometimes. And yet it is understood to be healthy for society to allow all of this stuff to come out in a measured, in a controlled way. It's not awfully different from the spectators at a sports event. They shout and they scream and they have enmity with the opponents who are dressed in a different colour from their team, and it all comes out. Good stuff. There's more to it than that, though. The dressing up in clothes. I remember a particular fancy dress party I went to, and everyone there was disclosing their secret personality. You know, there was this man dressed as a warrior, and this woman dressed as a prostitute, and another dressed as a doctor, and another as something else, and yeah, you could see that the way they were dressing was much more indicative of the deeper sense of who they felt themselves to be. The principle here is often called fake it till you make it. If you pretend to be something diligently enough, frequently enough, eventually you start to pull in some of those qualities, and they become embodied, embedded within your own character. And little by little, you move in that direction, and you start to believe in yourself. So let's say, for example, somebody goes to a fancy dress party or dresses up in clothes for the Mardi Gras, looking like a warrior. Well, they would then start to become more commanding in some way, or dealing with conflict in their life more courageously. Perhaps somebody else dresses as a prostitute, and on the face of it, we don't think that's a good thing, apparently, in society. But what about this woman who may be inhibited about her sexuality, and she just wants to be free of that inhibition so that she can give her husband a little bit more of an easy time at night? The whole thing about the pageant is that we're not measuring it. We're not taking notes on people and going away and calling them to account for what they have done on that one day. Very often it's accompanied by drink or drugs and crazy dancing and so on, and everybody is doing it at the same time. So nobody's really interested in looking at someone else. They're interested in being on a very deeper, much deeper level, who they feel to be. Now, another dimension of a pageant is that it's a group experience. And we can even include other activities. It's not only a carnival we're thinking of. Perhaps we're thinking of something like Live Aid. This took place in the 80s, where everyone in the world, 1 billion people anyway, simultaneously were listening to the same music and hearing the same words of encouraging us to be charitable, to help the poor in Africa. Another occasion later, when Lady Di's funeral took place, the world, 1 billion people or more, simultaneously experienced grief. I remember the moment. It was so profound, and I had no affection for Di, whatever, but the mood of the world was so powerful. Every one of us were feeling like, whoa, there's something happening here. A wave of such profound emotion was communicated almost hysterically around the world. It's inconceivable, isn't it, that 1 billion people can have the same feeling at the same time. But they did, I promise you. And the pageant is a way for us to do that, to blend a large number of people who are individuals normally and turn them into something which is no longer an individual experience. It is a group experience. Group consciousness takes over. And that's really what hysteria is, where an emotion can infuse a group almost by osmosis. And with all of these people feeling the same thing all at the same time, power occurs. There's a greater power than can otherwise be reached by any individual. And that power is the power of breakthrough. We move to something else, some other realization of mind, release of emotions, so the heart can feel more love, more in tune with the truth of life. We need that. That's a part of the human condition, to need that. We need release, and we need group consciousness in order for us to grow.